Okay, hi. We are doing the outline of the poppies. I'm going to show you how I draw them out. So you can use any piece of paper. In the other video I talked about my supplies. I would use an HB or 3H to very lightly outline it. I'm going to press hard because then you can see it way better. I'm just using an HB, but again, I am pressing harder just so you can see my pencil marks. Okay, so it's not like you have to do everything exactly like I do it. However, you generally want an idea of placement. So up here I have, I'm trying not to press too hard, but it's roughly a circle, right? But a very vague circle. So you can just, this is how big roughly I want things to be. See how in relation they're pretty close together? Something like that. And then a little bit lower, maybe a little bit more of an oval shape here. But see, in relation, pretty close together. You don't need to do these circles if you think it's going to throw you off. I don't think it will, but don't, again, press too hard. Okay, so roughly the middle. You can see that some of them are pointing, like these two are kind of going outwards. So I want the middle slightly, it doesn't have to be exactly the middle, it can be just slightly lower. See how I'm just doing like a U shape? And then I'm going to do like a narrow, just an oval shape. See? That's the middle of our flowers. And just like a ball, so like one of those beach balls, see how it's like folding outwards from the middle? That's what you want to do. Okay, so right about here, a U shape, and then oval folding out. On this side, it's going outwards that way, so it's a little bit up on an angle here, and then circle there. Okay, now for the petals. Do your best to ignore the circles for the most part, but I'm generally following the shape of that circle. From here, we'll just start with the petal that's kind of flipping up over towards us. So you can see from the bottom, it's not up here on the petals, it's kind of on the lower part. We're just going to see, just gradually go out like this. See, just a little curve. So it's not just a straight line, it's very delicate, just a gentle curve. And following the edge here, I'm just going to do like a couple little bumps, see? But then it goes upwards on that angle. Let's do the other side. So like it's going to curve up and out. So I'm not going to the very edge here. What I think will help is if I just do a couple little bumps here to meet with this one. And then I did these like, see these little loops here. So where it curves up, it curves out, almost like a narrow 8. Gives it some nice interest there. And then the bottom of the petal that you can see underneath it, it's like a U shape or a very wide V shape, like that. I didn't do it too long, so if you feel like it's too long and not as close to the flower or the petal itself, just erase. That's why you're pressing very light, and just bring it in a little bit closer. Okay, and this is the, so when we fill it in, this is the inside, this is the underneath the petal, and that will be underneath it. All right, let's go to the next petal. So these are just rough outlines. This is how you want to start it. So next to it, you can see in relation to things. We have the edge of our petal here, just kind of swoops up, right? And then close to it, about the same spot, kind of just has another petal. Not going right to the edge, just kind of curling up on that angle, a little bit bumpy. Okay, and then it ends somewhere along, just off to the side of the middle. Just a gentle curve, like it's just nice flow before the other petal next to it is kind of overlapping this one. Okay, so it comes out maybe just a little bit more, a little bit bumpy, and it comes in a little bit shorter as it goes down. So it's a little bit more wider out here and a little bit shorter in here. So these are just the streaks, generally going to be following where it's curling out. Okay, so if you have extra lines, you want to erase them, go ahead. Okay, so the petals that are on the bottom, see how it's kind of starting just in line with this one on the edge? So just a little bit bumpy, maybe a little bit bigger, comes in, and it kind of stops towards the bottom part here. Okay, and this will be folding out if it's curling down. And this will be shadowed in. Okay. So if you want more of a separation between these petals, you can just force it. See, I just put a little separation, a little gap. This can be the shadow. And the petal where it's underneath here, in relation to everything, kind of starts just a little bit into where the bottom petal is here, curls down, and then it starts doing the bumpy thing and disappearing somewhere off to the side over here. And there is our first flower. So you can make little adjustments on the ends of your petals, like maybe you want something a little bit longer, so you can put these little creases and stuff in between so it looks like it's got some more interest in between the petals, just like that. All right, let's go to the next one. Very, very similar in shape. You can see it's almost the same flower, so it should make it a little bit easier. Some small differences, so when you make it again, try not to do it exactly the same. It might look a little too repetitive. So let's start with the bottom one. Down on the bottom part of this, just a little wave coming out. And so since I'm getting close to this one, I need a bit of room for the petal underneath. I'm going to not go too far down. And it has a little wave. So it's not too far away from the center because it's supposed to look like it's more condensed and closer to you. So you streak it up, you only have a little, not too much of a gap. And then again, a wave like this. And this is going to meet with that little point. Okay, let's go a tiny bit closer for some of that detail. So up here, we're just going to bring it down and meet with it on the edge of where this is about to curl. See how it curls out? And that's where it meets with that point. So this is the bottom of your, underneath your petal, and this is more on the inside. And this would be the streaks within. Okay, so we have the petal. See how it's wrapping just underneath where you can see the bottom of your petal? We're just going to curl out a bit, and then a couple little bumps like that, and it will disappear behind the petal that's next to it. So you can do this one after you have the next petal above it. So we're going to go really close to where your petal has finished over here, basically touch it, and then just leave a little gap, just do it a little bit bumpy. See how it comes out on an angle to the edge of the circle, and some bumpy, and it comes in. So what I've done is I haven't filled the entire circle. I'm just going to erase that little gap. So I wanted a little gap there. Okay, and then it just disappears behind this petal that's going to come out this way. Alright, so from about the middle, see, it just kind of curls up, and then this petal is going to go out to the right, a little bit bumpy once again, folds in really quickly, like it's, see how you can, it looks like it's just curling up this way, folds in so you can see how it curls down, and you can see more of the back petal. So it just quickly comes in like that, and then just you can practice these little indentations, these little imperfections coming in from the edge of your petal, or change it to your liking on the shape that you want. And on the side here, so it kind of starts, it kind of comes out up on the top corner, it swoops, comes in a little bit, and just meets towards the bottom of this petal that's, you can see underneath. Here's a little one, and this will curl out. And same with this side. See, that will be shadowed, and this will be curled out and down. In the centers, there'll be these little, lots of little lines with circles that are like just really dark. That's what you're going to do afterwards, once you're done shadowing all of your flowers and petals and stuff. I'll show you that in the video. Okay, let's go to the one on the side. Okay, so the angle here, you can see mostly the bottom of this petal that's kind of sticking up, so it's in line with this one. It's just following, since it's turned this way, I'm just going to keep it with that angle, so see how it's just complementing that angle. So if you were to bring this down more center, it just comes out like a V shape. So bring that out, but not a perfect one, right? You don't need it perfect. Comes out, and then, so once again, we're thinking about the spacing. This is not too close to this one. The bottom petal would be coming out and be close to this one. I am going to bring this out, and it's just going to do this bumpy, following the oval shape and wrapping it in like this, just like that. And about where it's just about to fold outward, so like towards this bottom, in line with this, see that line I just pulled across? This is where I do a bumpy line following it to the other side. See? Bumpy line following it to the other side of that V shape. And you can, for fun, put a little curl like this, so it looks like it curls and wraps in for the edge of that petal. Optional, you do not have to do that. And then now we can do the petal on the outside here, so a little bit of a bumpiness, and then it just, the next petal is kind of overlapping and taking over, bumpiness, bring this in. Purposely left a little gap between these two sections. Then your little outside petal wrapping in, coming in just close to, not at the very bottom, but you know, halfway down, ends there. So close to the bottom here, wraps out, a couple bumpiness, curls in, like that. Okay, so you can once again do little indentations. I like the way that it curls down, so you're just, when you're filling it in, just practice those following the directions with the curling downwards thing. And what we want to do for the bulb that's sitting on the side, so again, looking at the general spacing, we know it's not like, it's about a good finger space or two away. Somewhere off to the side here, we're just going to do a little circle, or oval shape actually, and then a squiggly line coming down towards the bottom, and this gradually tapers into a thin stem. You can curl a little bit more depending on how you like it, but this is where I start placing more of my my stem. So you want to follow from the middle of this, so that you follow it down about the middle, and that's where it naturally is just going to lay like that. You see, this is going to just join together. Okay, and then, see, following the middle, kind of either over top or behind. It's just a soft, gentle bend, just like that. And then this one will join with either into this one or behind it or just together, following that center point, naturally falling down, soft, gentle bend. So those are our poppies, just the basic outline, and you can add in the leaf if you're feeling it. So the leaf coming from down here, just a short little stem, and then it automatically starts going into a leaf. Okay, so the leaf is nothing but randomness and confusion. It's so random that you can literally make it any way you want and it will still look like a leaf. Generally what I've done is I had a general direction, so it kind of does this, like that, just letting it naturally lay that way. From the end, I tried to think of it almost like a maple leaf in a sense, not too pointy though, so more rounded. So see, I just a couple little squiggly lines on the ends, so it has these like little taperings off, and then just it comes out again, a couple squiggly lines again. It comes towards the center a bit, loops up, meets towards the center, loops up a bit. See, it has a couple little sort of leafy bits sticking out. Now the other side comes in towards center, comes out, and it just folds down. You can just keep it rounded. I didn't do it overly pointy. See, it just folds up again and down. And there's your leaf. Feel free to tweak that, make it wider if you think it's too dead looking. But see, it's kind of thin through the middle and it just tapers out and folds out, but folds down here, so it looks like it's just naturally falling down. So hopefully that was a lot easier than you thought it was going to be. Just remember, just believe in yourself. I know it's silly to say, but if you believe you can do it, you can do it. Don't tell yourself you can't. As long as you follow that circular shape, hopefully that was a big help, because it's not like it's a perfect circle, but see how when it follows it, it looks like a healthy, open flower, an open poppy. Oval shape, you see more of the side angle instead. So go on to the next video, we'll start filling it in, making all of those shadows. It will look really amazing, especially if you have that nice contrast from light to dark towards the center and then lighter towards the edges.